It's your girl Lay, and welcome back to my channel. Now, I was just sitting here, and I just got paid Friday. Today's Sunday, yeah. Just got paid Friday. So I was actually going over my This is March, right? Time runs by so fast. My March financials, because this is my budgeting book where I break down all my checks. Hold on, wrong side. Where I break down all my checks, and that way I know everything that's coming up, and when it's time to pay it, and I write down all my monthly bills. I know exactly how much I pay in bills every month, And I was thinking about how yesterday, when I was first talking about the 2-year plan course, I had briefly broke down just the different parts of the book: mindset, forward thinking, finances, retirement, grind mode, and I think that's everything. But today, I really want to talk about finances because I think finances is what people most struggle with, right? And to be honest, it's really all about routine and good habits, right? And being able to tell yourself no. It took me a while to get that one for sure, because I don't understand no. I don't understand no from my parents. I don't understand no from my man, down to I don't understand no for me. Like, if I want something and I have to be like, nah, you can't get that, I'll be like, who can get what and why? Like, oh, I must need another job, because clearly I don't make enough. Like, what you mean you can't get that? Like, yeah, I'm a little extra. So I was thinking that today, I think I wanted to start with in my different series, because for my trucking course, and when I talk about trucking, I want to do a whole series on that too, because it's just so many different things that I can talk about when it comes to trucking. But on this end of just having a plan, especially this economy that we're in, same thing. I'm like, dang, that's a whole nother series in itself too. So when it comes to the finances, I just wanted to give a quick little breakdown, especially with it being, today's the 2nd, I believe, the beginning of the month. I'm definitely in my budget book, making sure okay, what's coming up, just in case I have to add anything. I want to say I got a parking ticket a few weeks ago in my work truck. So, if you need to add anything to your budget, because like me, I got a freaking parking ticket, I have to add that in, because I know where all my money is coming from. And you want to learn how to not only get all the things that you need done and all the things you need paid, but you want to remember to save. 2025, we got to save. I don't care if it's $25 to make them holla. Pay. Save that $25 a check. Save that $20 a check. It don't matter. You want to save something. If COVID didn't teach you nothing, it should have taught us all not to get caught with our pants down. Because I'm sure a lot of, before them stimulus checks was cut, I'm sure that a lot of people was in a bad spot. Because a lot of times we don't have any extra money left over. I was watching so many different YouTube videos, listening to so many different people, and how our nation was really, really struggling. And I was like, dang. That's deep. That's crazy. So I kind of wanted to offer my finance tips and things that I actually do in real life. And although, like, I just thought about this just now, my situation isn't like, I wouldn't say most people, but a lot of people, right? Like, I don't have children. I don't have, well, children come with a lot. You gotta, that's somebody else that you gotta feed. That's somebody else that you gotta clothe. That's somebody else that, you know, if they in daycare, you gotta pay for daycare expenses. That's like, you know what I mean? So a kid is like, woo. So I for sure don't have kids. At the moment, I don't have no men because I definitely make sure that my man is loved down. You hear me? So don't got no men. So I'm saving on that. That's funny. What else don't I have? Because I definitely, I got everybody else's bills. I got car note, car insurance. I have a mortgage. I have life insurance because today, 2025, life insurance is a bill. It's an essential, for sure. You want to have life insurance. And you could get it as low as $23. If you're in a credit union, they be sending you things in the mail talking about, hey, you know, no medical exam needed. You can, we're offering this much, this amount of life insurance, blah, 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 blah. Get it. Because you just never know. And now that's a whole nother thing that you have to, a whole nother expense that has to come out of your already tight budget, you know? So I want to get started on just, first off, you want to have written down all your monthly bills, right? You want to know how much, you need to know that number of how much your monthly bills come to every single month. What's that number? Versus, also the other number you need is, how much do you bring in a month? Because I'm telling you now that although I'm not saying it's the easiest thing in the world to do nowadays, because I'm hearing that it's not that easy to find a job and, you know, do what you need to do, but that's where the 2-year plan comes into place. Because when you're in this mode of trying to shift your dynamics and shift your life, you got to put different things in place, right? So although it's not the easiest thing in the world to get a job in this economy, I need for you to consider or look into or plug and play. Whereas if you need to go get a better paying job, you go get one. If you need a second job, even if it's part-time, you need to go get one. You do. Because the way this rent is going up, these apartment buildings and these landlords are not playing. I was just talking to my cousin yesterday, and she was telling me about how money hungry her landlord is. And I was trying to tell her, I was like, look, landlords experienced some true trauma during COVID. So I hear in your mind she's being money hungry, but in her mind, she's accounting for that money because a lot of homeowners were left stuck during the pandemic. Like, people wasn't paying, they didn't have to pay and all this, but those mortgage companies, my mortgage company ain't sent me nothing to talk about I ain't have to pay. That I did not get that memo, okay? My mortgage was still due. Eventually, they came and said, oh, you could put your payments on the back end of your mortgage. So like what, the pandemic lasted like 2 years. So basically they would have put that 2 years at the end of my mortgage, right? At the end of my 30-year term or whatever. What? People who were living in apartments, if they didn't pay, they just didn't pay. They was off the hook. It was over. It was done. You know what I mean? You couldn't evict them. You couldn't. and I don't know, I wasn't in that, so I don't know all of the details, but all I'm saying is that it was hard for people who own multiple properties, because I would have been sick if I was renting out my condo and someone wasn't paying for it. What? And I couldn't do nothing about it. What? Woo. I ain't gonna say couldn't be me. Just, I'm glad it was not me. Thank you, Jesus. But so anyways, you want to know both numbers. You want to know the number which what all your bills come up to per month, and you want to know how much you bring in, right? So within this 2 years, I need for the reason for a plan is because I think a lot of times, like when I think about the people that I help or the times people have helped me, it was because I had a plan. Like, people could see the vision. So they're like, okay, I can support that. I can, you know, help you with this because I see where you're going. I understand what it is that you're trying to accomplish, so let me do what I can, you know what I mean? And like I was telling my trucker friend when we was talking about how he went trucking and how he, how his marriage kind of got a little rocky. One thing I was telling him was, you know, you didn't have a deadline. You know what I mean? Like, you wasn't as communicative with your wife as you could have been, because when you do something that is also inconveniencing other people, you kind of need a deadline. I think deadlines, and at least for me, because people have done, like, sometimes the way I show up for people, I show up and in my mind, this ain't about to be forever. Like, I'm not about to help you. I'm not about to just be carrying a load or whatever it is that you need from me. I'm not about to be doing that forever. Like, this should only last, you know what I mean? And if it lasts longer, then sure, like, another conversation is needed, right? So I said that to say that within this 2-year period, if you need to go back to school, if you need to, whatever, like, if you need to have some type of training, if you need to get a second job, like I was saying, like, and you need some type of support or help for you to be able to do that, I need for you to do the research, make a plan, like, okay, this class will take me this long, this training will take me this long, so therefore I will need help for this long. And could you agree and pull and bring as many people as you can, but also make sure that you offer something in return. Like, okay, this is what I'm doing and this is what I'm trying to get done, and this is what I need from you, and what's something that you need in return, if that makes sense, or what's something that I can do for you. Or even if it's not until after you're done, hey, this is what I can do once I get all this settled, once I get this all squared away. You know what I mean? Like, you have to pull, or you want to pull from wherever you can. And I get it. I understand. A lot of us, we all don't have families. We all don't have, you know, the most supportive environment around us. But what I will say is that there's resources for everything. Like, everything. So if you utilize and tap into those resources, and I'm talking as far as utility help, childcare help in whatever state you're in, any type of assistance that I wouldn't say is owed to you, but you qualify for, I would say jump on that within this 2 years, because you need help for as much as you can to get you to the next level. You need to plan for, you know, you need to map everything out. Like, okay, this is what my Monday through Friday looks like. This is what I need to get done. This is how, you know what I mean? Like, you need to have a strict tentative schedule so that you can meet all those marks and you can meet that deadline. Because one thing my trucker always tell me, help runs out. Help runs out. Nobody wants to help you forever, and that's understandable because we don't want to help nobody forever. Like, when is you gonna get yourself together? So if you're looking at your numbers and the math ain't mathing, then okay, now what can I do within this next 2 years that can get me to the next level? What do I need to do to get this promotion at work? What field can I go in that pays me more than what I'm making right now? And do that research, apply for that job. Someone told me, she told me a long time ago, one of my old friend's wife told me, she's his wife now, she said that she goes for all the jobs that, quote unquote, she's not qualified for. Because she ain't got no degree. She ain't got, when they be having things, must have this, must have that. She was like, I ain't got none of that. She was like, and I still go for those jobs. And I still make good money. Because, what? Like, I'm not afraid to get told no. Because what if they say yeah? And you gotta know yourself too. If you a go-getter and you ain't lazy and you could learn, you could catch on to things fast, and if all you gotta do is be shown and you'll excel in whatever it is that's thrown at you, you better go for some of them jobs that is telling you ain't qualified for. Why not? Why not? When I was a school bus driver, I had freshly had my CDL. I probably only had my CDL for a few months. And I remember them telling me like, oh, you gotta look at the mirror, you gotta watch the kids, you gotta watch the road, you gotta look in the side mirror. I was like, how am I gonna do all of it at the same time? I was like, they was like, that gonna be a problem? I was like, no. I bet you I'm gonna figure out how to have one eye on the road, the other eye on the kids, and my other eye on the side mirror. I'm gonna figure it out. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna figure it out. Yep. You best to have that mindset, because starting a new job or going to something new is just like everything else that we learn in life, whether it's driving, whether it's riding a bike, whether it's when you start living by yourself, when you've got to sign up for utilities, when you go get your own phone, you got to start paying bit. Like it's the same thing. Get it done though, because if them numbers ain't matching, if your expenses is more than your income, you're in the negative every month. You robbing Peter to pay Paul. Stuff's getting cut off, and you don't have your basic essentials. Like I said, that life insurance. You want that. So you can't afford that $20-$30 a month. Yeah, you need to, if you can't afford to get back and forth to work because it's not enough, to gas money, then yeah, it's time to sit down and figure out what else you could do, how you can bring in another income, even if it's doing DoorDash or Uber, because I've been there. I used to do Uber when I got off work when I was a school bus driver on the weekends. I got a second job. I worked at Burlington because I decided that I wanted to fix my credit and I wanted to eventually buy me a condo and stuff. I was working at Burlington part-time. Friday, Saturday, Sunday for about 6 hours. And that money went towards me fixing my credit, towards me calling the collection agencies and saying, hey, I could give y'all this much. That's what I used that money for, because I didn't make that much money. I think my check was like $900 every 2 weeks. So, I'm not telling you nothing that's impossible. Like I said, it may be harder if you have children, or you don't have the support, or you don't have, whatever. But what I am saying is, whatever you do have, create a plan and execute that plan. And if you do have people that can help you, like I said, give them a deadline. Like, this is the help that I need. Be as transparent as you can be. This is the help I need. This is what I can do for you in return, or whatever that looks like. And this is my goal. This is how long it's gonna take. This is this. You know what I mean? Because honestly, like, when you don't give enough information, when people don't understand stuff, they think the worst, you know? And a lot of times it's just unnecessary miscommunication that don't need to be had. If you lead with communication and giving the person as much information as possible, oftentimes that'll open up their minds to, okay, if I do have a question, or if I do, you know, whatever, I could just ask them because they led with communication. Or sometimes they can even answer their own questions, like, oh yeah, never mind, she told me whoop-de-whoop. Like, okay, bet. I'm just saying, been there, big time. And it took a lot of trial and error, but once I got it, having that type of communication saved me a lot of energy, because I was able to move however I needed to move, because I already told a person what was going on. So now I could put my head down and I could just tunnel vision, you know? Now, of course, life be life, and so, you know, if some stuff happens, then cool, I could go deal with that. But I can get right back on track because you know what this is, and you know what I mean? Like, what I'm trying to do, you know what's going on, you know, all those things. So, you want to write down the expenses. You want to look at your income. Another tip is I break up my checks, right? So I'll have the due dates and everything, and okay, so roughly, you know, checks don't hit on the same days, but they hit around like the same week or time, unless we get a third check, and then it throws everything off, where you're not getting your first check for the month until like the 14th or something, which is crazy. Which just happened in I want to say February, and I think it's gonna happen again in March. Annoying, but whatever. So you want to balance your checks out, right? Make sure that roughly the same number is coming out of each check if you can. Now, I know some people, like, and I say that to say because, like, for example, rent check, right? Rent or mortgage be your biggest expense and most of your check, right? So imagine you got $34 left over after you pay your rent. Like, oh God, right? Nah. Sit. Let's say it's your second check, and then your first one falls in line with, you know, by the time it's due, the 3 to 5 days, not sure how long you get to pay your rent before it's actually late. But let's say between you got your second check and you got your first check of the following month, right? So let's say I just got my second check in February, and then my first check in March is about to come up. So let's say your rent is $1,500. Take $750 from the second check, and then set it to the side. Also, another one of my finance tricks is that I have 10 bank accounts, right? And that sounds obnoxious, but I don't have 10 banks. Like, you know, every bank comes with a checking and a savings. Some of you get a secondary savings and a secondary checking, so it's the same bank. So one bank, I have 4 different accounts, and then all the other accounts, I got a checking and savings, checking and savings. And I think another one, I got the secondary, whatever. So anyways, another tip is to have multiple accounts, right? And the reason you want multiple accounts is because you want to be able to separate all your money. So like I said, if you're balancing out your checks, right, to where the same money is pretty much coming out, because that way you have room, like when your rent or mortgage is due, you're not in a position where you can't pay nothing else. Like, that sucks. Like, dang, like this the rent check. I ain't got nothing after this. No, you don't have to do that, right? So let's say you had your last check in February, and then your first check in March falls. Like, let's say you got paid on the 4th or something like that, right? And your rent is due on the 5th, due by the 5th. So you take $750 from the last check in February and $750 from the first check in March, and that's how you pay and then you go get your money order, however you pay your rent, right? Put it into the rent account, if that's what you want to call it, and that's how you pay it. So now you've only pulled out $750 from those two checks. Let's say your checks are $1,200, $1,300, $1,400. Now you still got $500, $600, $700 left over to move around. And for me, if you have to, every big number, right? Because at one point I was paying $1,200 for car insurance because I was running a car rental company or whatever. Car rental business, not company, car rental business, and my car insurance was $1,200. I used to pay $600, like for real, like whatever, like something that's big. Break it up, okay? Break it up. Make sure. So let's go back. So with the tip on the different bank accounts, right? So, like I said, one of them I have 4 different accounts. I have a checking, I have a savings, I have a Christmas account, and I have a vacation account. I put money in all those accounts from my paycheck, right? But the kicker is that, so I automatically save whatever it is that you can save. Once you have all your numbers for what you're making, your actual expenses, you can figure out how much can I afford to save every month. If it's $25, if it's $50, whatever it is, you want to save it. Okay. Also, the rule of thumb is to pay yourself first, or make sure that you always do something for yourself, because you don't want to just be working to pay bills. Sometimes you may have to. Okay. But I did hear a good rule recently. I think it was from Smart Money Bro, where he said to a good rule of thumb, and I think it's good for just planning and getting your finances in order, is 3% of your check should go to you. And the math on that would be however much your check is. So let's say you made $1,200, $1,500 times 30, and then hit the percent button if you got an iPhone. I don't know what Android calculators look like, but if you got an iPhone, you could do 1,200 times 30% equal, and I'll tell you what that number is. That's how much to spend on yourself, and that's buy your new outfit, buy your new shoe, whatever you want. You know what I mean? Like, as a reward to you, because at the end of the day, you're the one who's going to work, and you're the one who's making all these things happen. You want to reward yourself, and you want to celebrate yourself while you're on this journey of getting to the next level, right? So, I forgot where I left off because my mind be going so fast. I was like, let me go back. Oh wait, let me say this. I'm trying to like jam pack everything. But so I was saying, within those 4 accounts, I put money in each account, right? So let's say I get paid, I do half and half on my rent, whatever that looks like, pay my utilities, pay whatever, after writing down your expenses and your, how much your income is, the balance checks or whatever. So I'm paying whatever utility or whatever has to absolutely be paid because it's going to be off, or, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to cause some type of issues. Whatever needs to be paid, pay all that. And I pay all my bills Fridays at about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I wake up like clockwork on Fridays, and I pay everything. Like, I get right on my phone, whoop, check, it's payday, boom. All right, here go my mortgage. Here go my phone bill. Here go that credit card. Here go my energy bill. Here you go, here you go, here you go. Like, I know what that number looks like. I know what that is. Okay, boom. Here go the money for my savings. Okay, boom. Here go the money for, so my money automatically goes to my savings account, but for my vacation and my Christmas account, I manually do that, right? So I already know my numbers for the month, so I just play with the accounts. Like Christmas, with it being February right now, for one, I got a niece, a nephew, 2 twin brothers that are 12, and I have a sister that's 15. So that's 5 people that get Christmas presents from me. I don't do Christmas presents for adults unless I got a man, but 5 people get Christmas, and I made it to the point where everybody just get $100. I'm going somewhere. So I know that by November, that account needs to be at least $500. Now, if I want something that's like kind of a big ticket, then I'll, whatever that number is, and I know I at least want that account to be that much. So what I do is I break up those numbers, like, okay, so I could throw in 50 this month. I could throw in 75. Oh, I got enough to throw 100 in the Christmas account this month. Oh, I could put in this much for the vacation account. Like that one, I just kind of play with. And then I have, so another rule of thumb that I use is on Thursdays before my payday, you gotta go back again. So on Fridays when I wake up and I pay all my bills, right? I wait for everything to clear. I wait for everything to clear right now. About Monday, Tuesday, I'm gonna see, how much money I got left over for me now, right? Because I'm gonna divvy that money up and, like I said, put some into the vacation account, put some into my Christmas account, and put some into all my other accounts, right? And I have so many accounts just because one was like an emergency account for if anything goes wrong, because you want to have an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months. I think after COVID it's more like 6 months. You want to have at least 6 months of, if anything goes wrong, if anything happens or you lose your job, you will be able to cover all your bills for up to 6 months, right? So emergency account, savings account, Christmas, vacation, random ventures, because child, I will start a business fast. I will go invest in something, go buy all of the things, and create a new stream of income. I promise you I would. I have a self-care account where this is for my nails and massage and this and that. You know what I mean? I just put whatever I want up in there because, I just put money in there because who knows? You know what I mean? Like, because I want to start going to wellness retreats and wellness centers and things like that. And they're in California. There's, I've heard about a few in Arizona, and they're quite expensive. Like for the weekend, they want like $800. So my self-care account, just keep putting money in there because come this summer, I plan to go on one of these wellness centers where they have like a whole weekend mapped out, to just recalibrate your mind, body, and soul. You know what I mean? They have different activities, they have different whatever, and I've heard very, very great things about them. So, self-care account. And of course, however you want to do it. I think Christmas is a good one. So that way you're not fumbling around and having to spend all this money during Christmas. Save for your Christmas, break it up throughout the year. $100 a month is over $1,000 come November. That's $11 in November. You wanna, when it comes to your finances, you gotta have a ceiling on things. It can't just be top down screaming out money in a thing, because that's money is a thing in 2025. Okay, so I think that's where I want to end, because I think that was a lot. And if you're not too good with finances, I don't want you to be like, yo, okay, I need this, I need an account, I gotta have emergency, I gotta have. I was just sharing how I manage my finances, just so you can have some tips. And anything that you hear from anywhere, whether it's my channel or somebody else, make sure that you take what will work for you and leave what doesn't. Or, ooh, I do that, but that's better. I'm gonna do it like that now. You know what I mean? So it doesn't have to be everything. Just listen to, the information and take what works, right? Take what you can actually, what's actually realistic for your life, right? So I hope that it was helpful, and do grab the 2-year course, the 2-year plan course, because I'm telling you, like, you have, write the vision, make it plain, right? And you have to have, you know, a pathway. You have to know where you're going in order to reach that destination. Because if not, when distractions come, when other things come, you're just gonna be, you know, all over the place. You're gonna look up like, dang, I could have had this done. Dang, I should have. Or, you know, that date is gonna come and you'll be like, dang, I would have been done with that training by now. I'd have been done with school by now. I'll be taking my test to be a nurse, or to do whatever, to be an electrician, or to be a, you know, like, I would have, like, dang. So don't forget that. I'm gonna end it on this note. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And don't nobody got time for that. Don't plan to fail. Like, don't that sound crazy? But if you don't plan, that's, you bound to drizzle. Okay, all right, sorry. I'm done for real. Thanks for watching.